What are these?
Those are glow-in-the-dark Grinches.
What is that retail?
They don't glow in the dark. They light up. They're Supreme collab. They dropped about 2 weeks ago with Supreme.
What was retail on that?
Retail tax and shipping was around like 160.
And what are you selling them for?
200.
Should be able to sell them.
Especially Christmas few days, right?
You got
That's so underrated.
You got an 8?
Yes, sir.
How much?
Just throw me 10 on top, 160.
And what are you selling them at?
I'm gonna do 200 today. I don't even know what market has to be on it, but retail and tax is 150. Appreciate you.
200. That means all I'm left with to shop with today is
You got some change coming
$420. Nah, keep the change, bro. Don't treat me special.
At least that.
All right, so I have $440. What else can I buy at Sneakercon for this? We're in a recession, so we got to stretch this too.
You want a size 8?
Yeah, I'd love a size 8.
Gotcha.
You're really just like, you're like a drug addict.
Oh, I'm like a drug addict. Yes, proceed. Let's proceed to this as to the why I'm a drug addict.
You just can't stop.
I'm a professional shopper. It's what I'm supposed to do, is it not?
I agree.
I need to buy more. I need to buy more. I've been fucking really cheap for the last 2 years. People forget what I do.
They're pretty interesting.
I feel like they need to be like dyed.
Yeah, I know. It's a cool shoe though. I mean, interesting design.
This is like the
Timberlands?
No, you're not supposed to. The T is not for Timberland. The T is for Trump, bro. Yo, imagine getting stomped out in these for freedom. How much are those, bro?
I'm asking $350 on these.
$350, and what size are they?
It's a size 8.
Damn, that's crazy. Yo, they need to get, if them shits was dyed a little better, they're light though. That'd be wild to wear those in the summer.
They might go with your fit right now.
They do go with my fit right now. Damn, everybody got the velvet Travis Scotts.
Yeah, it's nice.
What's been your favorite pair you've done so far?
So, probably the Sean Witherspoons or the J-Tips Grit Azuras.
This is your next step up, right? And you know, I'm not the artist, but when I look at that and I see this many layers, your background needs to be dimensioned out too. Like what if you had think like a frame, like it has like the part over the part, you know what I'm saying? Like a border?
Yeah.
Can you add a border? Just more contrast.
Did I tell you about, I'm doing all of J Balvin's releases for him. He commissioned me to do it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so he already has the Jordan ones. I actually got that over to him in New York during the New York Sneakercon.
That's amazing.
He's commissioned me to do the others, the 2s, and then also the Medellin Sunsets and the Rios. So
sick,
I'll be doing those.
You keeping the other side for yourself?
Maybe. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I might frame them up in a big frame all together. You know what I'm saying? So I want to start, doing bigger stuff and doing like more fine art.
Start pushing the boundaries, bro. Figure out how you fucking turn this into a statue. This shit's hard, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. But I've been watching since I was younger and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I seen you, bro. I had to kind of show you some love.
Nah, this is love, bro. This shit's fine. Thank you, bro.
Of course, my boy.
What's your, can you show me the Instagram? Of course. Like, I want to fucking holler at you and, figure out how we do some shit for next year. Because I got a whole nother brand that I'm doing. It's called Social Services.
Yeah.
And, I fuck with what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's love, of course.
All right.
I'm going to get you right.
Dale.
The thing is that the young generation, if I tell them, what we used to do, when you were camping out and we went to Vegas, we drove all the way to Vegas.
That's what I was wanting to
shoes.
talk
You know
about.
what I'm
It's
saying?
how psycho it was. How long ago was that? 12 years ago?
When was that All-Star Weekend? 12 years ago,
12 years
right?
ago. The Area 72 was 12 years ago.
Yep.
And
before the store.
Nike, Caesars.
Yep. And that's when we were camping out every weekend, and we went as far as driving out to Vegas. And that's when we first met you.
Yep.
And he was out there just hustling. So.
Well, that first night, that Area 72 drop, I didn't even have the money for the shoes.
Yep. Yeah,
and it was just me and Joni were like, yo, let's figure out what shoes people don't have, or what shoes they're not getting, and then let's go see if we could, get them to buy the shoe that we want to buy.
Because that's when you really killed it, was the Barkley Deposit, right?
The Barkley Deposit
Yep,
was
yep.
the first one. It was 18 pairs that I bought,
That's
and then sold 17 pairs.
And if you tell kids nowadays what that shoe was going for, like hell no.
400.
Hell no. You know what I'm saying?
But retail was 275.
Exactly, and it was a small margin, but it was cool at that time.
Yeah.
You know, like, and then that's what you were able to resell LeBrons, KDs.
Yeah,
all
I
that,
remember
know
you
what I mean?
guys there for that one. I remember you guys for LeBron 10 Corks.
Yep.
What
Corks.
other releases did you guys do in Vegas?
Oh man.
Because it felt like you were there every weekend.
So we were there for the Area 72 stuff. We also went again for the Gumbo Pack stuff.
Yup.
We were there, and I want to say that was the same time as like the all infrared 6s.
Yup.
And they did that like Bamboo 29 or 28, some shit
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, man, we were there all the time.
And I couldn't comprehend how guys would drive 6 to 7 hours from a neighborhood nowhere near, because it was 6 to 7
Yep.
hours every weekend to come to Vegas to do the releases in
Yeah.
Vegas. But then, now interacting here, I see the why.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you took that and you morphed into going to the trading shows.
Yep.
And then you've always had 3 and 4 tables at every show.
Yep.
And ironically enough, when you guys were setting up, it brought a smile to my face to see your booth, because I'm like, damn, just like old times. Because the few times that I did vend
Right.
with shoes was in front of
We're
you guys.
neighbors, yeah, for
and
sure.
we were legit neighbors, so it's been really full circle moment. But I wanted to talk to you or ask you,
Yeah.
you've now been in business 11 years, right?
We're going on 10 years in
10
February.
years.
Yep.
And you started Hun and Un 9 years ago?
Our first store, we did it. We just like tried putting some stuff on like a little bench. It was probably like 20, 30 pairs. And we tried it once, it did good. Next time we had a little bit of a line, and we kept going from there. And like people were starting to camp out every time we did it. So,
Crazy.
yeah.
So what's been the craziest shoe that you did in 100 and under sale? And what was the longest, 2 questions. What was the longest time someone stood in line for shoes?
So longest time, I want to say, was like 3 days, maybe almost pushing 4 days, people camped out. But at the time, back when we first did the Hun and Un, SBs weren't as crazy, right? So I want to say we even had tips on the Hun and Un at one point, right?
Tips in the Hun and Un?
Yeah, we had Tiffany's because they weren't shit at the time. They were a couple $100 back then. So we had those on the Hun and Un. Now it's a few $1,000 shoe. Last Black Friday, we gave a shoe away for free, actually the first kid in line, the UNC Off-White Jordan. Just gave it to him for free. He was out there for 3 days. Reminded me of myself. I almost shed a tear, so I had to give him the shoe away. Because that's how we started. So we gotta show love, you know what I'm saying?
So how many pairs do you have at this one here?
This one, we're a little under 800 pairs.
800 pairs
800.
of 100 and Un.
Yes, yep,
Wow.
yep.
I'm not really good at math, but that's like an 80 ball, ain't it?
80 ball, I'll say. Not everything's $100, so maybe like 65 to 75 range, I would say.
And now, because obviously it's from the business side of it, what was your investment to get these 800 pairs? If you had a gorilla math, because I know you didn't necessarily say, oh, this is what I spent. But
I would say typically, so like if I'm giving a customer 60, 70 bucks and we're putting it for 100, so we're probably making like 30%.
Okay.
Typically.
And how
Typically.
long does it take you data entry wise, and how many people are involved? Because that's the other part that a lot of guys that are running this stuff aren't factoring into their costs.
So the good thing is that this actually, why Alex and I first started, was that there is no data entry. It's just simply putting a tag on it, saving it for the next 100 and Un. So that's why we really did this, because it was like, all right, let's find a way to move stuff with cutting time out. So no data entry at all. All we're doing is just putting stickers on it.
But how do you
it,
know what you
and
have
keep
is
it moving.
shrink?
We really don't.
So, okay, so you're not doing data entry.
No data entry.
You're just grabbing shoes and you're remembering that you paid
it's all in here.
60%, 70% of what you're selling it at.
It's all in here. Yep.
How do you get people to say on a shoe like, I mean, granted, okay, this is not $100 shoe.
No. So, but
how do you
to
get
keep
them?
it real, I will pay more. I'll take a loss just to give back to the people. So like I probably paid maybe $200-300. I'm taking the loss.
But if you,
but it hypes it up. This brings people to that.
yeah, fair.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're doing it in volume. How many
Volume.
shoes do you think you've sold in 10 years in 100 and Un?
Shit.
You wouldn't know because you don't write it down.
Let's just say we've done, let's just say 6 a year. Maybe we've done.
You do 6 of these a year?
Typically we do every
How
other
much
month.
time do you spend, even though you're not writing this stuff down? How long does it take you to set this up?
It takes a while.
2 months?
So we collect for 2 months. right?
Okay.
We collect for 2 months.
Do you take any pairs and keep them for yourself?
Nope. Ask me. Never.
What about you? You keeping pairs for yourself?
Never.
Not one?
Never.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I keep a lot of my shit.
Never. Now, when stuff comes from
no
the
and a
store,
half, so what I
other
do.
stuff, we typically get it. But
Yeah.
this stuff we keep, we got family asking, can we get first dibs on the 100 and none? Nope. It's for the people, man.
So you don't have like a VIP 100 and on layer?
Nope.
You should.
Nope.
You should charge 100. You should charge 100 for a VIP pass to the 100 and on.
Scotty was telling me about that too. He's like, oh, like let's get people to sign up on Soul Steals and they got to show the membership, something like that. You know what I mean? But
then you would have to write shit down.
yeah, exactly.
You ever had any like fucking people trade or sell the shoes right in front of you?
Oh, for like people like stand outside sometimes our store and we'll like do some stuff, you know.
Have
Or
people bought shoes from you and then from the show and then be like, yo, you want to buy this?
they try. They try sometimes.
What do you tell them? Fuck off?
Fuck off, basically. I would rather you go make $1 from someone else. Like don't come back to me. You know what I'm saying? Go get someone else.
I'd be like, hell no. If you want to sell me this shit back,
$50.
less than
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
so
dope,
it's
man.
cool, man. It's cool.
Well, I'm really proud of you guys. Like,
Thank
you
you,
know,
man.
over the years now, seeing you like keep evolving, and
Yeah.
I gotta make it to the store again, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's see how many shoes they sell today.
Hopefully we're trying to sell out. We sold out in LA, 650. This is a little under 8.
Yeah,
Let's
but
see.
I mean, this is your
Let's see what we can
backyard.
do.
I'd be disappointed if you don't sell all 800.
Yeah, we should. So,
Maybe a bulk deal at the end of it
yep.
for a dub and above.
Dumping the ball.
So what you end up grabbing?
I got some 12s right here, you know. Nice little steal, can't complain. A pair of Yeezys right here as well.
Solid. How much did you pay for each one?
For 100, it's a great steal. This guy's definitely plugging, showing love to the community out here.
Fire. Yeah. Concrete, fire.
Concrete.
How much you get those?
$100. $100.
Hell yeah.
Atmosphere ones.
Oh, fire. $100 too?
$100.
Hell yeah.
They got the seals of fix kicks, bro. Hit them up.
Seafoams,
Nice.
smokers.
Nice.
Yep.
How much was each one?
It was 60, 70, and 50, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Good prices.
Very cool.
So far, we're like an hour in, and we still got a line going pretty crazy. So this is nuts. Bay Area definitely showed up. So can't complain, man. I'm happy.
It's been a little while. I've played in the poker tournaments with you for Blake. I'm the sneaker guy in Vegas.
Oh my God, Jesus,
Yeah.
how you doing? Yeah.
So welcome to our
Good to see you.
neighborhood,
Thank
man.
you.
How you been?
Good.
Good. It was good to see you. I just want to just say hello and get out of your hair.
Thank you, man.
Be well. This is how long I've been doing shit.
A minute ago.
I was a lot fatter then, huh?
Now you look good, though.
No,
You look
I
good.
look fatter now. I'm lying. I was trying to get you to say yes. I'm kidding. But Mr. Smith, over the last 40 years, has been responsible for some of the most impactful sneakers that we're all wearing, reselling. Arguably, has made probably the coolest sneaker that I think in the last 30 years, the Wave Runner, which at one point I had 41 pairs in my personal collection because I just was that big of a fan. And I just want to take a couple minutes, ask a couple questions, and hopefully we have enough time for you guys to maybe ask some questions, because it's not every day we get the opportunity to talk to someone as special as Mr. Smith. So again, Mr. Smith has worked with Adidas, Nike, now leading Crocs and Hey Dude, as well as Stock Made It. Reebok is the furry, to kind of name a couple of projects that he's worked on. Also earlier you heard he's worked on Luke Hollis's 997s, 1500s, and 574s. This is like a very long resume.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. So first one, because it's like the most relevant one, I think that a lot of the people that are standing in front of us can relate to, is what was the inspiration behind the Wave Runner?
It was funny when I first got the gig. He sent me images, my old New Balance shoes, and I'm like, why are you sending me this? Everybody wants another 350. And he's like, well, you're the godfather of dad shoes, we better do the dad shoe. And I'm like, okay. So I started sketching, and he said, I did about 20 different sketches. They had some young designers there too. I kind of mixed it all up and made it look like, and disguised my hand, so it looked like what the Adidas designer was drawing as well. And he kind of came in with a Sharpie, and he was like, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Who did those? You're fire, bro. That's why you're here. I'm like, okay, great. And so we took a bunch of those and took pieces we liked from it and kind of mixed them up. And then I sent them to him because I went back to Oregon, and he has some Photoshop on, and then send them back to me. And then I redrew it all. And he had somebody Photoshop and send it back to me, and redrew them all. And out of it came this shoe that was, yeah, there were things about it that looked familiar, there were things about it that looked new and futuristic, and it became the Wave Runner. And it was kind of a hybrid of a few of my old Reebok sketches, blended with some New Balance vibes. And the best way I can describe creating it was we were composing product like music, and it was a very different way of creating product than the normal corporate way. A brief, this is who it's for, this is how much it's going to cost, and you went and did it anniversary another one. This was a completely different way to create, and I loved it. It was exciting. At the end of it, when it was all said and done, he's like, you know what I did? I said, what's that? He goes, I made you design your New Balance, because if you still worked there 30 years later, what would it look like? And I said, yeah, you kind of did. Because we had these crazy conversations about time and the past and the present and the future, and there really wasn't anything. It was just the now. And you look at that shoe, and when we were done with it, you can't really tell when it was from. You know when it's from because when it came out, but is it from the 90s? Is it from the future? No, it's from then. And you look at it like, almost like, did it already exist? Was it already there? I think it was already there in my head, and out of it came this another timeless Yeezy. And when it came out, people were like, that's not a 3-big, what is that thing, you know? And once people wore it, saw how amazing it was and how comfortable it was, it just became this other iconic product in my portfolio.
So, yeah, that's more than deserving of a round of applause. That's kind of crazy. Did you, I had this conversation a little bit with you at Brooklyn at Sneakercon, and you mentioned to me that, you know, the first iteration of it that released to the public is totally different than what the masses really got to see, right? Did you understand or think that it was going to have as big of an impact as it has in the industry when you created this shoe and you first looked at it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, you know, because you have the power of Ye behind it. You know, he looked at it as power you behind it, and that's kind of the way we talked about it. There's this mutual respect for what we did and what we added to it, and the co-creators that we were of it. The very first version, we did it was a very different materials. The suede is a little bit different, the meshes were very different, and they did a very small batch of them, almost like friends and family. And the factory had crossed us, the suede across the toe improperly, and it was tearing. But it was kind of sad because the material quality and the hand of it was so much better than the final production one went out. So I wore mine until like freaking fell apart. And then Adidas just kind of each drop despec'd a few things, even like the top cloth on the sock liner. So the first one took this a nice feel on your foot, and then the second one, nice substitute material or feel like sandpaper or through my socks. So that's the corporate world. They then kind of compromise what you created from the first drop to the second and third, which you guys can relate to when you go pick up a reissue of a shoe. It's not quite right. And part of that is because the materials of the maturity or they cheapen it up to make more profit.
So I'm going to switch it up a little bit and kind of try to bring you back to the very beginning of it. Where did it start for you? Where did the thought process of I want to create, I think I could make it? How old were you? What were those thoughts from? What was the initial inspiration and stuff? I think I could do this stuff. What?
It was funny, I always liked to draw. Even when I was in kindergarten, my mother saved all of my drawings. She has everything I ever drew from kindergarten all the way on until I moved out of the house, like 23 or whatever. But I love to draw and I love to run. And when I graduated from school, I wanted to get into product design. I loved cars. I thought I'd go do cars, but then I found out when you go to the auto industry, you could be the guy that does hubcaps for your whole life, or you could be the guy that does window crank handles. And nobody was really designing sneakers at that point. There were a handful of us that all started right about the same time. Myself, Tinker, Chris Kilgore, Wilson Smith. We were kind of the beginnings of all of it. And I went and intermediate rebalance, and I heard they were looking for a product designer, which just kind of cared about people design sneakers, and I heard that they did. So I went there and I interviewed, and they all like running at lunchtime, and they're like, the interview's over, we're all going running, and I'm like, where do I sign? And they're like, hold on, you would get hired. Yep, we don't hear from us. So I went home and they offered me the job the next day, and I was the second full-time designer New Balance ever had in their history. There was a African-American kid, Kevin Brown, who was a year earlier than me, and he was kind of the first one. People don't realize that New Balance's first real full-term designer was a black kid, and Brownlee was amazing, one of my favorite people to work. And the two of us designed everything for New Balance. At that point, we were the whole designing department. And I liked running, so I ended up doing all the running styles. And Brownie liked basketball and tennis, so he did a lot of the basketball shoes. He did the James Worthy shoe. And at that time, I ended up doing the takedowns, and one of those takedowns from that was the 550, which New Balance has reintroduced, which has become massive. So it's kind of funny. I think back to those early days, and here I am at 16, competing against my 23-year-old self in the marketplace, which is pretty wild, you know? And as a 22, 23-year-old kid, you never thought, like, in 40 years, they're going to be selling my designs. You know, it was a moment in time. So it's kind of cool to see all of these things that will eventually outlive me. So you never know where you're going to go. You never know what you're going to do. You never know where you're going to start. I just did the best I could at New Balance for, you know, a young kid right out of college. It just showed that it was the right thing to do.
So, in a previous interview, you mentioned that you wanted to evolve the brands and the design language over at Crocs. So me as a consumer, as a fan, and then also seeing what you've done, how do you make Crocs cool and this nice product, like take it and make it where all the sneakerheads are now on Crocs?
I don't know, we'll see what happens, and or we'll go to new places with Crocs like people have never seen. They're going to give me free license to create whatever I want, and we'll see where it goes from there. They're really open to innovation and creating a new path forward, and I think that's the important thing, is to not forget the original Croc, but to expand the business. And you know, we've had some interesting things with the foam runners that people had never seen before that they could relate to it. So I think it's that idea of science fiction in the future, or where we can go with extreme comfort and a molded format.
What do you think's allowed you to continue to have these opportunities with so many legacy brands in this space over the years? What do you think's allowed you to continue to work with these brands?
I think part of it is the history of the products that I do. Everywhere I've done it, created these iconic products, and it certainly was never in my head. I never expected these shoes and sneakers to be sold forever like this. This was it's pretty cool. So it's just another chapter. I always say, if you look at Frank Lloyd Wright and the Guggenheim Museum, consider one of his masterpieces that he was like 72, 73 years old when he did that. And so it's funny to do, and with the stock tanking underneath a 401k plan.
If you had to pencil it down to one shoe design that you've had, which has been your favorite one to still look at? That is there one that still excites you to look at it?
I think there's two. There is the Pump Fury, just because there's nothing like it. And I basically sacrificed my career at Reebok, that shoe, where people didn't want to release it except for Paul Byron, the owner, and they had to go up to Paul and go, look, these end-all breaks don't want to do this. You tell them I separate and do them. All those people who are the resistance to it are all forgotten. They always credit me, Reebok comes back to me, even I have worked there in 30 years to come talk about it. Richards have a role, and to see it grow, and at one point it's 50% of their overall business is a shoe that people didn't want to take a risk on putting it in the marketplace. The other one is a Crib Mary Jane, and I did it Nike, and it's a little baby girl's infant Mary Jane shoe, and it's one of my favorites because I did the packaging for it, and also it was kind of not performance, not running. It's just this beautiful, delicate little shoe, and they still have it in their plumbing like 16 years later. So it's another one that was special to me because it wasn't the typical shoe I would have done, so it challenged me to do something very different.
So I'll switch topics a little bit, but now that you've been to a few sneaker cons, what's your assessment of the show? What do you think needs to be incorporated into the experience, vendors and consumer-wise?
I mean, for me, I love coming to it because part of creating part of this culture is amazing. And seeing all you guys be enthusiastic about the stuff that we did. I mean, at the end of the day, it's shoes, and I don't mean to diminish it, but it's cool to see things that we made so exciting, keep you guys excited about what we create. And I think the biggest disappointment for me has nothing to do with Sneakercon, but what it has to do with the culture. The other designers, the other companies don't come. Why would you want to come here? I mean, I appreciate you guys just like you appreciate the work that we do. Why wouldn't you want to come and interact with you people to see their real people? We see what you like and what you love, and what that's what we need to bring to you more of. So I think there's a disconnect between the companies and the fans and the excitement for what we did. But why wouldn't you want to come say hi? You know, we're real people behind these things that you guys like. You know, Tinker's a good friend of mine. We hang out. He's a good guy. Why do you want to come and be a good guy? So that's what I love for. Be positive. Bring positivity to the world. Why not? You know, it's something simple that.
Little Birdie told me that Tinker might be in Philadelphia February 1st for Sneakercon, but I don't know if my school let me up there. I might have to come. Make it to Philly, I get to see Tinker.
I might have to come to quote you there.
So, I know that as fans and sneaker enthusiasts that are all in this room, I say this, I think, not just for myself, but for a few other people in the room. A lot of resellers that are in this room started as fans, and kind of this is how you pay for your shoes and your collection and all that other stuff. Do you think that people like us that are in this room, resellers included, do you think they'll ever get the opportunity to work with the brands to kind of have a say in some of that curation? Do you think we'll ever see that pay?
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, you have that with me because I'm here seeing what you guys are up to and what you buy and what gets you excited. Why not? You know?
Do you think athletes could become great ambassadors for sneakers again? Like, where have the brands missed that now, like, gym shoes are not looked at as like fashion, or athletes? You notice now, like, everybody's jumping to Kanye or like the Travis Scott, or like it's gone away from what it used to be in the 70s and 80s. Where do you think the brands and athletes have missed? And do you think they could catch that lightning in a bottle again and make it cool again?
I think it's evolved. You know, that Ye was the Michael Jordan this generation, because he could do anything until he did the wrong things. But I don't know. I can see it evolving. You never know. You know, he was it of my career. He was the last 8 years have been the most fun and interesting. We did all kinds of crazy stuff. He believed we could do anything, and we did. You know, I was working on a Yeezy electric SUV that was going to be really cool to film the car that he talked about. It was halfway done before we had our little fight. But I don't know. I mean, I think the opportunity is there for anybody to create at this point and start a new brand. And I think people are tired of the obviously not in some ways what's on sale here, but the big Nike machine. I think in the greater market, you see people looking for something different, you know, whether it's an ASICS, Red Crocs, or Ultra. These brands are kind of creeping in, and Nike kind of operates in the same old model, and they don't know what to do about it. Similar to what we did when Yeezy, when we came in, Nike didn't know how to respond or reply to that. And you can see they kind of fell off their game. And then once we went away, there's nobody to challenge them or push them even further. And so they're like, oh God, we can take a break. And, you know, it's just more reissues and stuff. Where's the exciting new stuff that's going to be here in 10 years to take some of this product's place or add to it? I think they got lazy in name. It's kind of sad because they got massive amounts of people, and I don't know. I always laughed like when Stussy and Supreme decided to do the collabs with Nike. They picked my shoes. You know, they picked the Spectrum and they picked the Sparrow and Cage. Like thousands of shoes Nike had in their archive, and it just always made me think, like, why did they pick mine? But
so you don't have to pay you at this point.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
That's the biggest reason.
It would have been nice.
So this is a great meetup question here, especially with you mentioning that you worked 8 years with Yeezy. But when these brands are looking at fashion trends or forecasting these trends, ideally from the initial conversations to mock-ups to seeing a production sample, how long, and I know every case is different, but like I really, from when I say, hey, and you're a brand and say, we want to start on this, how long is that transition before I see that sample?
I think Crocs, so a 12-month cycle, so it'll be a year from the initial start of the project to production. There were certain styles within Yeezy that took a couple of years.
Which I could validate too, because I was sharing a story with you 8 years ago. I was selling samples that didn't release till last year, which is 7 years later.
And yeah, there's other shoes like Good Gay, like the 500. When I did the 500, that was the fastest Adidas shoe to ever go to market. From concept to production, it is within 7 months. It was in production. And it was a first for him because he likes to hem and haw and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, look what happened to a basketball. We do like 5 different versions before the contents even pin out. And that was more pressure on him to put about because of the All-Star game.
So comfort zone for you and the brands, and again, kind of tying to similar, but how many years in advance do you have to work to be able to create, to then put out a shoe globally that's, 6 figures in value?
I mean, it's at least a year and a half to 2 years. And that's what's funny when you see a company that becomes reactive to what's in the market. Like, oh my God, like So like for Yeezy, Nike didn't know how to respond because we moved so fast and dumped the product out there. For them to respond to it, they're already 2 years behind. Once they're responding to it, they start their creation. And now they're 4 years behind. It takes them 2 years to get it into production. They're responding to something that took us 2 years. So now they're 4 years behind. So you can see where things like the Space Hippie and the Tom Sachs stuff was a direct response to what we were doing at Yeezy. And it looks it, because they were following us as opposed to leading. We were leading, and that drove Nike crazy because they want to be the leaders. So yeah, you can see why it takes that risk of stepping away and doing your own thing because of that lag in response to it.
So, a little different topic, but you're also working with Hey Dude, which is totally different than a lot of the sneaker stuff you're doing, right? Totally different crowd. What are the biggest differences that you see with working with them, and how you promote and create compared to some of the sneaker brands that you've worked with over the years?
I think the Hey Dude one's going to be interesting because it's kind of a blank slate in a lot of ways, because they really only have 2 styles. They've got some great people they're working with, like Sydney Sweeney, so there's a great endorser for it. And I think keeping that comfort and style and making something cool and different for them, that's the value.
Amazing. So I know a lot of us are, trying to be entrepreneurs, creatives, and at one point you also looked at yourself as that, and now you've been doing it for so long that you just look at yourself as this, person that's paving the way. But what advice would you give a creative who doesn't necessarily have the support system or family support to be that creative?
I mean, you take the risk. What I did is I started a smaller company like a New Balance. I learned as much as I could from them to hone my skills and understand how the sneakers were made, how it was put together, what the needs are for it. And I did best way to get your foot in the door any way that you can. It's harder now because it's so flooded. Because of that cool work that we did when we were young, we made it interesting for all the people wanting to get into it and do it. We could have gone in and it could have been another job, and it could have been just another job what people didn't want to do. But I think that excitement that we brought to it, and that fight, that competition changed the game and changed the product look. So stay fired up and you chase your dreams as best you can. I never thought I was going to be doing this. I just wanted a job to pay the bills. So
I have to have you, that almost kind of answers this question, but you once said, I have this strange brain that has a hybridization of an engineer and an artist, and the two don't really get along. It's logic versus art. How have you made that work?
It's hard because corporately it doesn't work because they want you to put you in your little box and your silo, and I kind of, they put up with me because I deliver, but at some point you become problematic for a corporation because you're not like everybody else. And like, why can't you be like that? And I'm like, you get the designs that are like that. You get that. And so that was hard. I always chased the product first and your income later. A lot of people are driven by money. I was driven by the desire to create and design cool stuff, and that's what still drives me. Money is secondary. You need to make a living, but chase your passion. Because my passion to make great stuff, and I always try to make the product better every time rather than different. Everybody can do more in your fruit, but doing better is the hard part. And I've always tried to do them better, which was why a lot of these products that have this extended life will still like.
So the inspiration at the beginning was to design cars, and it got you the skiers. Now that you clearly made a name for yourself in this industry over these last 4 decades, have you had the opportunity to create another worlds outside of sneakers? And what has been the most head-cracking industry that you've had to create in?
It's funny, I did Ye was funny where he was like, you're the designer from the future. You can design anything. Those told him, but should I? And so he had me design it, easy car, designing furniture for his house. He had me doing apparel, designing the domes in Wyoming. So it was kind of a cool experience to design just about anything, because he believed in you more than he believed in himself, which was cool. You know, he invited you to do it. And I'm like, sure, then let's come on design cars for a night long. So it was kind of funny. It was fun working with them. And I've done all kinds of strange things. I think one of the coolest things I did though was body armor and padding for the U.S. military for the Striker vehicle crews, because when they were fighting in the Middle East, they had run over improvised explosive devices, so they would rip the bottom of the truck out, and there were 7,000 in the truck, and maybe 2 survived. It ripped their bodies apart. So I worked with this company that actually ended up making the tuned air units originally for Sneakercon called Skydex. And I worked with them to design a lining for inside the striker vehicles, and also body armor and padding that the soldiers were. And we kind of flipped the survival rate where longer 2 guys would possibly die, but be able to 5 to 6 survive. So that meant a lot to me to help people stay alive. I mean, you thought you'd be doing that through sneakers, but that technology that came from the tuned air kind of translated to all of these other places. So I think that's one of the most significant things we did.
That's definitely a project that's one of anything that anybody else has done in this room, to say the least. That's pretty much all the questions I have. I know that you're short on time, but can we take 1 or 2 questions from the crowd? Is there anybody that has a question that they might want to ask?
Gustav Party.
Artie, what do you got?
Will Crocs ever come out with like an actual shoe, or they just they would like to go slide from?
Stay tuned.
Is there a silhouette that you dreamed of working with that you never got the chance?
That's a great question. I think you'll see an interesting Crocs solution to some things I always wanted to do. So I'm gonna change the game. I mean,
I was just wondering, what specific design for GT would you actually your creativity into? So I have a pair of 350 D2s on. Is that something that you contributed to?
So the 350, when I got there, the 350 was just about baked, and the 750, but everything after that, the Wave Runner on.
So that's all you?
Yeah. Well, me and there, certain models I had Adidas team work on that were kind of orchestrated along with the AI who was going to do what, but definitely a hand in just about everything, except the Knit Runner. I don't like that one. I had nothing to do with it.
Give me name and what's your question?
My name is Eden. What's your most expensive shoes?
That I own, that I decide.
You want to know about his personal stash. Some buy shoes off you, Mr. Smith.
I have some that are probably priceless because they're unmade Nike concepts and things that nobody's ever seen. So I have some special Yeezys that were never made as well.
You guys, I think it happened. That's a great question. A for effort, bro.
Hey, you don't know if you don't ask.
Falling Ye's size, so we're gonna do good.
You know, you're gonna ask the same question if you have a pair of shoes. You guys just come in, huh? Just ask it right away.
We saw this Crocs. That's the start.
Hello, my name is Tania, and I just want to say thank you so much. Question, I have 2. One of my questions is, like, when you, like, get in the flat, like, do you have, like, a routine or something that you do to, like, get you started and get you back? Is there a song that you listen to?
When you essentially have writer's block.
Oh. I've heard drive around in my car really fast. That's about it. I don't know. You just start drawing and sketching. You look around. You take inspiration from anything. And I'll just go outside, see nature. There's interesting solutions everywhere to everything. Just keep your eyes wide open at all times. Everything's there. You know, I guess that's it. If you guys know E. Scott Morris, he's another designer. He teaches at Penn Stone now. But E. Scott and I used to rip off each other when we were feeling down, not creative. He's a character, designed all these cartoon characters that went with all the foods that he did. Like he did the futuristic Oregon Ducks mascot when he was at Nike. He came from Hasbro, who was one of my favorite people. But yeah, you should look up E. Scott Flores. We would just fire each other up. We'd be like, come on, let's do this. Right? He was from Michigan. Real character.
Thank you. One last question that I have. In regards to those shoes, which you said are priceless, the ones that never came out, is there any way, like, we're all interested in the stuff that you do, that we could possibly get some of these prices that you still purchase them?
I don't know. I can never show them a couple. So I'm not supposed to.
It's talking some crazy story to some shoes that had me like jaw on the ground. If I ever got my hands on them, they would have commas all over the place.
I do have one pair that's special to me is Paula Radcliffe. She was the British woman marathoner, and she's the one who wore the Spectrums that we did originally with the Flays that Supreme kind of reintroduced. She broke the world record at the London Marathon, took the shoes off Simon and handed them to me at the finish line. So I had those sitting there, and then Sean Crawford got the gold medal in the Monster Fly spikes at Nike. I have one half of this gold medal shoes, and Phil Knight gets the other half. So some of those are pretty special to me.
All right, so I know that we all have a lot of questions we want to ask Mr. Smith, but I'm getting the cut it off from security and his people in the corner. So I'm just going to take your flight. Here, I just want to say thank you guys for taking a little bit of time and hearing us. Yeah, please take a round of applause for somebody that big. Someone built in Apple sneakers and the history of sneakers that we all love. And for me, I just want to say thank you for interacting and bearing with us and the vendors that are here for the last 2 days. Because of you guys that we're able to come out and do the things that we do. And please support and follow these brands that are out there, guys. Thank you for your time and enjoy the holidays.
And I'm going to do my best to get more people from the industry to show up to this, so you guys know the faces behind some of your favorite designers.
Amazing. So this is the part of the show where we get to ask random people to pull a ticket for me, and then we're going to start texting winners. One.
Yeah.
Aaron Shoeboy said, I can't make it, just replace it, give it to somebody else. So Aaron, there's your phone number that I'm not gonna put out. And then this is the one that we're picked to replace you. So I'm gonna text that person now. And you said you hope that I could film it. I am, so shout out to you for making somebody's Christmas.
Text my number.
Did I?
Yeah.
8775. It's awesome that you guys are here. What's the last four?
This one right here.
All right, so let's do this. Swap. Take this top one, yeah. And then if you want, the box to transport it, that's got styrofoam in a bag and everything. And
thank you.
And shout out Luxie. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I feel like the Grinch. This guy said, bless the next person. He said, I'm not here, so bless the next person that's standing in front of you. So here you go. We're gonna make this more efficient. All right, and this is a big one. Somebody won a pair of Travis Scott. So here's a crazy story. Long time ago, I went to ComplexCon, and I tried to buy a pair of Undefeateds from a guy in front of the Undefeated activation, Air Max 97 Undefeateds, and the booth was closed down because it got chaotic. And my man, you know, we had like a little moment where it was weird, but I bought a pair of shoes. He felt bad about the interaction. For years it bothered him. Then he came back to me and was like, yo, I'm coming to Vegas, Complex Con, I got a pair in your size, I want to give them to you. And I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want anybody to just give me something, like I'll pay for them. And he really wanted to he gave me the shoes. And so I said, I can't just take them, we got to give them away. So shout out to his Instagram is on the shoebox. So if you got these, thank him, not me. Let's call him because they didn't reply.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
No.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please try.
Wah, wah, wah. No voicemail. No, I'm kidding. That was kind of sussery.
There's you, bro. I got you right here. Ready? Here we go. Yep.
555. Fuck. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. Can you imagine? It's not like I got a camera on. You want me to tell people's phone numbers out loud? All right, that's a wrap. Is it really?
That's crazy.
Shut up. Fuck yeah. Yo, so here's a cool part about this story, right? He was sitting here, he came in today and he was wearing a shirt of a brand that I used to own back in the day that I no longer own. And I was sitting here telling him like, yeah, I started something new. I walked away and he's like, well, I gotta buy a shirt. And then he put it on. He's the first person to put on the shirt and he won the shoes.
Appreciate you. Bless, man, I appreciate you.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. So now, there you have it. I'm gonna wait for people to come get these cases. Shout out to Looksy Design. Make sure you give them a follow. The boxes retail at $100. A bunch of people won them. He actually has a promo. Don't hit him up on the IG. He said 10 boxes for 500. That's a lot of savings. Today only, while you watch that video, and this video kind of lives forever, but you got to tell them that you saw it in this video. From here, I take a break for a couple weeks. I'll see you guys at Sneakercon, Florida. We're gonna start a podcast at Sneakercon, traveling around the world. We're doing Saudi, we're going to Riyadh, we're going to Singapore, we're going to a lot of Sneakercons next year, and I got a lot of crazy stuff going. Make sure to follow Social Services Media. Thank you for everybody that pulled up, had kind words to say, and hung out with me. Bay Area is always a blast, and I appreciate y'all, man. Much love. God bless.